WNN.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. While recovering, you will receive 24-hour licensed nursing care along with dietary and nutrition services. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Come see the Whitehall Boca Raton difference. Call 561-392-3000 for more information or to schedule a tour with our admissions team, and we will answer any one of your questions. You can also visit our website at whitehallboca.com. For more information, call 561-392-3000. That's 561-392-3000. Whitehall Boca Raton is committed to provide you with the best medical care.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Feel like you've tried everything and nothing works? Studies show if we are out of balance or too acidic, it can directly affect our sleep. Now, a new doctor-formulated solution is available directly to you. Alkaline Boosters is a fast and natural way to get a restful night's sleep. Take advantage of this promotional offer to buy your Alkaline Boosters today and start sleeping better tomorrow. Call 1-800-994-5361. That's 1-800-994-5361.
SkyMed Pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy. Our services include home infusion therapy, nursing services, and a mail-order pharmacy delivering specialty drugs directly to your home. Our team of clinical pharmacists, certified technicians, and nurses provide comprehensive patient care, generating treatment of chronic diseases both attainable and affordable. SkyMed has a foundation department and a copay assistant program. Our staff is available daily to answer any questions you may have. Contact SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services at 866-778-8255, 866-778-8255, or visit us at skymed.com. That's SKYEMED.com.
Do you suffer from back, joint, or muscle soreness? Recovery with HydroFX is the doctor-recommended all-natural solution you've been looking for. Now, available in the U.S., Recovery with HydroFX is a specialized product for headaches, back, joint, and muscle soreness. Get back to feeling great today and order your 30-day supply of Recovery with HydroFX. Call 1-800-994-5361 and take advantage of this limited radio offer. That's 1-800-994-5361.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you have a hot new business or an established business that offers great and unique services or products that you want to get the word out? Are you looking to grow your business and you want everyone to hear the buzz about it? Do you have an amazing project or an idea that impacts our community that you want to share and get others involved in? Then you've come to the right place. You're listening to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero, and I want to share our passions while connecting with our community. So now let's get ready to hear about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening on Community Connections with Norma G. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Good afternoon. This is Monday, July 3rd. Welcome to Community Connections. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero. I'm an occupational therapist, and I want to welcome you back to the show. We have a great show lined up for you, and we are on the eve of July 4th, so I want to wish everybody this week a happy July 4th, a happy Independence Day to America. Have a great time with your families, getting out on the water, doing some barbecues, but remember to be safe on the water, be safe with the barbecues and the gas grills, and so we don't want to have any injuries spoiling a good time, but we definitely want to say, happy birthday to America. So thank you for tuning in again. You're listening to us at 95.3 FM at 1470 AM, as well as the show is streaming live on Facebook at Community Connections with Norma G. You can also find us on YouTube, on Periscope, as well as if you have any call-ins for our guest today, you can reach us at 888-565-1470. And I'll be repeating that because you're going to be excited about today's show. We have some really great guests, and we're going to be learning about the new law that passed. I believe this past year we have Dr. Dove Pickholtz, an internal medicine doctor, who is going to be talking about medical marijuana and the law that passed that now makes it legal for doctors to administer marijuana to their patients that fit a certain criteria. We also are going to have Nancy Aronson. She's a senior specialist, a senior placement specialist for Sunshine Senior Placement. And she's a social worker that's going to be sharing about how you can help find a place for your loved one as they're transitioning out of their home, maybe into an independent living or an assisted living. Again, my name is Norma Guerrero. You can check out my website at ccnormag.com, or you can give me a call at 954-802-2015 if you want to find out more about how to be a guest on the show. But I want to go ahead and introduce my first guest, which is Dr. Dove Pickholtz. He's a returning guest. We had him on the show back in March. Hi, Dr. Dove.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for having me back.
Oh, it's so excited to have you back again. And I was just mentioning to you, I was just listening to our show that we had back in March, and we kind of laid the foundation that you're a doctor of osteopathic medicine and that specializes in internal medicine.
Yes.
And how's that going? How's your practice?
It's going well. I love internal medicine. It makes me feel rewarded and happy every single day to be able to help people to the best of my capabilities. And now with the new laws that are passed, I can help them in a totally different way as well.
And that's really what we're here to talk about, is that you have this new component to your practice called ASEV.
Yes.
And ASEV stands for?
So ASEV is actually a Hebrew word. It's very natural in its origins. It's biblical Hebrew, and I actually found out recently that it means something in Turkish as well. It means lover of the moon. So it's a very natural term to it, because basically we're going to be doing specifically medical and low THC marijuana. It's a separate practice from my medical practice, and for people who are appropriate, it offers them a different avenue with which they can get relief from certain medical maladies.
All right, so let's go back a little bit as far as the laws here in Florida. And when did the laws change?
So in the end of our last election, in 2016, more than 70% of Floridians voted in favor of legalizing medical marijuana here in Florida. And
what percentage?
It was greater than 70. I can't remember the exact percentage.
It was high.
It was overwhelming
I know how
majority.
I voted. I know how I voted.
That was Amendment 2, and Amendment 2 came into fruition in January of 2017, which enabled more people to get medical marijuana. Now, medical marijuana is still a THC marijuana, although it's somewhat restricted only for people who are terminal. There's also a CBD, a high CBD, low THC, which has 0.8% or less of THC and a high amount of CBD, which is really the medical one that's used for treating people. It doesn't have the same euphoria that the typical THC does. However, it's been shown to be very beneficial in a variety of medical states. For example, in people with Parkinson's, in people with Alzheimer's, and people with chronic muscle spasms, it really helps reduce the symptoms without giving them the deleterious effects of the THC.
So, okay, so, all right.
I know I said a lot.
I know, I think I got what you're saying. So you have THC, and then you have low THC?
Correct.
And high CBD?
Right. Well,
is that three different things?
So there's a lot of different variations in it. Marijuana in and of itself is a vast, different conglomeration of different chemicals in there. And while we tried theoretically and also practically to break that up into different components, for example, there's a medication out there called Marinol or Dronabinol, which is pure synthetic CBD. They thought, okay, this is going to be great. However, it didn't really show that there was tremendous efficacy. And what we found through various research is there's something called an entourage effect. It's not just one chemical by itself. It's a whole entourage of how these chemicals interact with people. THC was the first chemical to be studied. Specifically, it's 9-delta-THC. But they found that CBD works in a somewhat different way, but they have to work together. Pure THC alone was going to get people crazy. They needed the CBD in there to kind of calm it and to have the specific effects. But they also found that this high CBD with low THC has been shown to be very beneficial for medically, again, from the standpoint of Parkinson's, from ALS, from spastic type of diseases, that helps relax the body, helps give it the medical benefits, and without the high euphoria, without the negative effects that you've sometimes seen with THC. But then again, you have certain people who are appropriate to have the THC. For example, people who have certain cancers, people who are going through chemotherapy, that the higher THC is appropriate for them. And in those certain circumstances, as long as there's, the letter from the oncologist that these people have a specific case, THC can be appropriate and can be approved for certain people within the state of Florida as well.
It's incredible. And so, let's break it down just a little notch lower. Not that I didn't understand you, but just to kind of make it a little more lay. So, we all know the plant. You roll it up, you smoke it. That is lined with THC. So just your regular
the plant in and of
weed,
itself,
if you will.
Regular weed that you have in and of itself usually is going to be either the sativa or the indica, which right now is not legal in Florida.
Correct.
You cannot smoke whole plant. The way that the system works is for people who are, for example, okay to get the CBD, once approved and registered within the Florida system, they get either the oils to be vaped, or they get pills, or they get oils to go into their mouth and to be absorbed, or they get creams that's going to be treating their symptoms.
Sure.
So the same thing with the THC. It's controlled. It's not still the good old fashioned weed that you can roll and you can smoke. The smoking is currently not legal in Florida.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that, when people are rolling it, I realize it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's 100%. And I'm not trying
That
to...
is the THC that gives them the euphoria.
That's
that
what I'm
gives
trying
them
to say.
the elated.
So when you have a low THC, it's you extract out some of that out of there?
Where it's not that it's extracted, although that's a whole different conversation as to how they do that. It's the end product, which is a
Without
controlled
the euphoria.
product, has a low amount of THC in it compared to the CBD. It's usually about a 20-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC. So we're getting the entourage effect of all of the chemicals. And again, there's more chemicals. There's THCV, which has actually been shown to be tremendously beneficial in weight loss and controlling appetite and controlling other things. But that's a lot more research is going out into that. There's a lot of research that's coming out of Israel. There's a lot of research that's coming out of Colorado. There's a lot of research that's coming out of California as to what diagnoses work better, which methodology works better. For example, does smoking versus does ingestion work better for one particular disease state versus other disease states?
Yeah, no, it's all. And how many states have been passed?
Currently, there's 28 states that have been approved. Nevada was the most recent one that allows recreational, but medical marijuana. I think there's only 8 states, including DC, 8 states and DC that allow recreational, but 28 states allow medical marijuana.
Okay, so we're at the halfway point.
We're kind of at the halfway point.
At the halfway point, and how many states allow the recreational?
Currently, there's 8 states that allow the recreational.
Is that right? Is it really that many? Wow. And so I know you're super excited about this, and I know that a lot of people are because, there's narcotics and there's all kinds of synthetic medications. And this is a very controversial topic. A lot of people sit on different sides of the fence of it. But, based on studies that we've seen that people have been able to get relief from something would you consider this natural?
It is natural. It is, there's a
Because when you
varying
say
levels
chemical,
of natural. Oh, it
but
is a
do you
chemical.
really are an agent, like a natural herbal agent?
Well, it definitely is natural in its origin. And what we have found is that the closer that you stay to the naturality, the less effects there are going to be that are uncontrolled. For example, just even talking about the safety, we were talking about narcotics and we're talking about alcohol, things that people use to try to control their pain. Those are very heavily both abused as well as they have a lot of deaths that are associated with them. I was just kind of looking up and preparing for here, where we have the American Society of Addiction Medicine showed that I think it was in 2014 there were 52,000 lethal drug overdoses in 2015.
With what type of drugs? Just in general?
This is narcotics.
Narcotics. Just from prescription medication.
We're talking 52,000. Do you know how many do you know how many marijuana overdoses there have been and deaths?
How many?
0.
So
and if you're looking at, there's one study that showed, I think there was 15 that they thought, however, they chopped off 13 of those that said these were due to other issues. Even still, we're talking 2 versus 57,000.
Is there still resistance in this country? I'm just going to talk about this country. Is that resistance from the people and it being a societal issue, or is it resistance from the big pharma?
It's probably more of a societal issue, and there's a lot of history that shows how marijuana was really kind of associated with a social issue. There was a famous study, a stereotype, basically.
Yeah.
It has a lot of bad press and a lot of people who are terrified of it. But when it comes to brass tacks and you look at the actual data, it's not supported. The whole concept of gateway drug, the data shows that wasn't supported. This was a big thing to scare people.
Sure. Well, Dr. Pickholtz, what I want to do is I'm going to take a little commercial because I want to come back and continue to talk about this. But if someone wanted to reach out to you and contact you, how do they find you? How do they reach out to you if they wanted to have a consultation with you regarding if they would be a candidate for this treatment?
So the best way is to call the office. Our phone number is 561-570-5500. You can go to our website, www.aysevcbd.com, and we try to post a lot of information on there. There's some really interesting websites that give the data.
Links on your website.
There's a bunch of links on the website. There's a bunch of data on the website. But this is a growing field, and I'm interested to talk to anyone who wants to learn more about it.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit more about, what it is, what a medical doctor has to do in order to get this ability to. You can't just be a doctor and then be able to prescribe it. So we're going to come back from our commercial. We want to thank Whitehall Boca for being one of our sponsors. That's how we know Dr. Pickholtz. It's a skilled nursing and rehab facility, and they assist patients in his internal medicine practice that when patients fall, they break their hip, they get pneumonia, whatever he's treating the patient for. It's a rehab facility to help get physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing care. You can reach them at 561-392-3000, and they're located on the corner of Palmetto and Powerline. And so we want to thank Whitehall Boca for helping continue to put this show on, that's continued to bring all of this incredible information that we bring to you each and every week, as well as my other sponsors as well. We'll talk about for the rest of the show, 7.2 and SkyMed Pharmacy. So we'll be right back.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. While recovering, you will receive 24-hour licensed nursing care along with dietary and nutrition services. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Come see the Whitehall Boca Raton difference. Call 561-392-3000 for more information or to schedule a tour with our admissions team, and we will answer any one of your questions. You can also visit our website at whitehallboca.com. For more information, call 561-392-3000. That's 561-392-3000. Whitehall Boca Raton is committed to provide you with the best medical care.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Feel like you've tried everything and nothing works? Studies show if we are out of balance or too acidic, it can directly affect our sleep. Now, a new doctor-formulated solution is available directly to you. Alkaline Boosters is a fast and natural way to get a restful night's sleep. Take advantage of this promotional offer to buy your Alkaline Boosters today and start sleeping better tomorrow. Call 1-800-994-5361. That's 1-800-994-5361.
SkyMed Pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy. Our services include home infusion therapy, nursing services, and a mail-order pharmacy delivering specialty drugs directly to your home. Our team of clinical pharmacists, certified technicians, and nurses provide comprehensive patient care, generating treatment of chronic diseases both attainable and affordable. SkyMed has a foundation department and a copay assistant program. Our staff is available daily to answer any questions you may have. Contact SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services at 866-778-8255, 866-778-8255, or visit us at skymed.com. That's SKYEMED.com.
Do you suffer from back, joint, or muscle soreness? Recovery with HydroFX is the doctor-recommended all-natural solution you've been looking for. Now, available in the U.S., Recovery with HydroFX is a specialized product for headaches, back, joint, and muscle soreness. Get back to feeling great today and order your 30-day supply of recovery with HydroFX. Call 1-800-994-5361 and take advantage of this limited radio offer. That's 1-800-994-5361.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Are we on? I think we're on. The camera's on. Okay, yes, we are on. I'm used to the screen. Welcome back to Community Connections. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero. There we are. There I see the screen. We were talking with Dr. Dove Pickholz regarding medical marijuana, but first I want to remind you that you're listening to us at 95.3 FM as well as 1470 AM, and we are live streaming on Community Connections with Norma G on Facebook. If you have any questions for the doctor, you can call us at 888-565-1470. I also want to thank our sponsors, 7.2. They're the alkaline company. They're the protein product company that helps bring your body back into alkaline. You know, we live in an acidic state oftentimes with the foods that we eat, and those products are helpful in bringing your body back into alkaline. If you want to learn more about them, you can go to my website under the sponsor page and read about 7.2. You can also find them if you want to reach out to Mike Zanardelli. He's been on the show a couple times, the health and wellness coach. You can reach him at 800-994-5361. As well as I also want to thank SkyMed Pharmacy. They're going to be coming on in a few weeks. They're going to be coming on board. They are home infusion therapy service, as well as a home delivery medical management service. And so we're going to be learning more and more about them in the upcoming weeks. And so I want to reintroduce Dr. Dove Pickholz, and that's Dr. Dove with a long O.
Long O,
correct?
short name.
And
yes.
You're here talking about your new addition to your internal medicine practice of Health Internal of ASEV. And ASEV strives to enable appropriate patient access to medical and low THC marijuana within the structure of the laws of the state of Florida in order to alleviate the suffering and improve the quality of life. And, you know, before we went to commercial, we were talking about, you know, the controversy a little bit between recreational marijuana or just pushing the law. And so for me, I understand the debate maybe for recreational marijuana use. Yeah. Is that a different debate versus the debate for medical marijuana?
It is essentially
because to me it seems like it is.
Marijuana currently is federally listed as a Schedule I drug, meaning that there are no medical approved uses, which is really kind of funny considering that there are actually medically approved uses, but it still remains to be a Schedule I medication or Schedule I medication for lack of terminology. So it's because of that it's still a struggle for the states to come out to enable us to be able to prescribe it. Now within Florida, not just any doctor can prescribe it. It has to be a doctor who's been approved. You have to take a 8-hour class, which may have been shortened, but when I took it, it was an 8-hour class, which I took, which talked about the legal aspects of marijuana. And then for me, I do like to delve into everything as deep as I can. So I'm currently actively reading every possible study that's ever come out for marijuana. So I know that, you know, this is what's actual, this is what's real, this is what works better for this particular disease, this is what works better for this particular disease.
And I want to ask you about that, about what you got, what it took for you to get this certification. But I believe we have a caller on the line.
Oh, okay.
I was just told we have a caller on the line. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes. Is this Norma G?
This is Norma G. Who are we talking to today?
Hi, this is Diane. How are you?
Hi, Diane. Thank you so much for calling in.
Hi, thank you. I just had a question that you didn't touch base about, so I kind of just wondered, is marijuana a good prescription for anxiety, or does it heighten the anxiety?
That is a very, very interesting and good question. So again, we were talking before about the different types of chemicals within the marijuana. There's the THC and there's the CBD. Currently, the THC is the one that's studied more, and in particular, if you're asking about the anxiety, most of these are the studies that are coming out of California and B, Colorado. Israel does touch on this a little bit, but the THC has been shown to both decrease anxiety in certain people, but it can also increase anxiety and increase paranoia in other individuals. So everyone will react differently, and there's no one simple way to answer that question.
And even with the low THC?
Even with the low THC where you're having the high CBD, CBD in particular has not been studied for anxiety as of yet that I have found. If any of our listeners have found the study and wants to forward it on to me, I'd be glad to read it. But to further answer your question, within Florida, anxiety is not yet one of the approved diagnoses for low THC or medical marijuana. Maybe one day when we get there, when we get to the recreational, it will be optional, but there's a very large caveat for the patients who are appropriate. For example, if I have a Parkinson's patient or a patient with cancer who's going under chemotherapy that does have anxiety, I do need to let them know that theoretically it could make it better, but theoretically it could make the anxiety worse as well.
Well, that's a great question, Diane. Do you have any other questions for Dr. Pickholtz today?
No, the show is very interesting. I'm just interested in continue watching. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Thank you for calling, Diane.
Thank you for calling in. Well, that's an interesting question because the qualifying diagnosis is a little bit limited at this point.
Currently, there are a restricted amount of diagnoses that are allowed. However, there's also the diagnosis in particular for things that are similar to what has been approved if everything else has failed. But currently, anxiety is not one of those current diagnoses. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is currently approved, but anxiety in and of itself and depression in and of itself are not currently approved.
Interesting. And so as we were saying that the law passed in October. So, and then what happened in January? In
January, it came into fruition. They were allowed to do it. The actual laws weren't established until early June, and it happened to be the Governor Scott extended those laws about 2 weeks ago, where he changed it from, instead of needing to be established with a prescribing doctor for 90 days, meaning that if you saw me once, you would have to wait 3 months before I could send in your approval for medical marijuana. That 90 days has been shortened to on the first visit. So if I have patients who are coming to see me that have approved diagnoses and have proof for me, for example, if they have a letter from their other doctors, if they have their CAT scan results, if they have a diagnosis, for example, Crohn's, if someone came in with their biopsy-proven Crohn's, now I know that they're a legitimate patient who are able to do it, and I was able to set them up with the state so that they can get approved. Now, once they've been approved by me, once they've been established into the system, the current Florida system does have between a 21 to 30-day turnaround for them to be approved by the state. Once that's done, then I'm able to set them up with a distributor. I don't distribute any marijuana. I'm not rolling anything for them. I'm not giving them the vaping pens. I'm not giving them the pills. But I will set them up with one of the various distributors in Florida, and I will get them what they need.
And then you monitor and supervise their care. So
correct.
When you, October comes around, January comes around, everyone who has an MD behind them,
or DO,
or DO, behind them, they can just all of a sudden start, this process to the practice, or is there an additional certification?
There is the additional certification. They do need to go through for the medical marijuana certification. Once they've been certified and they've been shown to have continued to have an active license, then they are eligible to be able to prescribe the medical marijuana. I have a few friends who do have it, but for the most part, they actually still don't yet feel comfortable because it is a whole other science in and of itself. And this is where I'm looking to show my capabilities by doing all those studies, by recognizing what is everything, what is appropriate, what are the right avenues, what are the right modalities with which to prescribe the marijuana for each individual person.
You know, Dr. Pickholz, we have another call actually coming in.
Okay.
And so we're going to take that call and see what other interesting question we have.
Okay.
Caller, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Who do we have on the phone today?
Yeah, this is Missy.
Hi, Missy. How are you today?
Hi, Missy.
Good, how are you?
You have a question for Dr. Pickholz?
I do. Question for you, doctor. We haven't touched on yet. I don't believe you've touched on this yet, but with all the pain management out there and today, and you're seeing people use it more for recreational than what they should in abusing it. Is medical marijuana going to be something that they are going to be able to use for pain management?
So it's a very good question. Currently, it actually is okay for pain management for pain that has gone on beyond the usual set of pain. Also for people who failed other therapies beforehand. So it is actually being used. There are wonderful studies that are coming out of Israel, Colorado, and California and Oregon that are showing the people who are on the medical marijuana, on this high CBD, low THC marijuana, they actually are able to decrease the number of narcotics that they are on. So it actually is being used for chronic pain management. Absolutely, you are correct.
Great. So they will be doing that here then, and is that something, with the state of Florida, they've approved?
That is currently on the state of Florida that has been approved. Again, it has to have gone on longer than the usual treatment. So if someone were to come to me and say, Dr. Pickholz, I really would like to try medical marijuana for my chronic pain, I say, absolutely. But let's talk to your pain management doctor. Let's see what's already been done. Let's see if, we can understand why you're in pain. The number one job that we have as doctors is to do our best. So if you're coming to me and we can identify what's the root cause of your pain, and if it's something that we can fix, let's push towards the fixing. But in the meantime, if this is going to help relieve the pain, if this is going to help relieve your suffering and increase your quality of life, I'm absolutely all for this. If this is going to be trying to help you get off of narcotics, all the better.
Well, thank you so much for your question, Missy. Do you have any other questions for Dr. Pickholz?
No, but I really appreciate, and I'm glad that, this subject matter is really starting to hit home here in the state of Florida, and, it's great that you're getting this out to the community.
Absolutely.
Really
and again, if you want to come in for a consultation, the phone number to the office is 561-570-5500, 561-570-5500, or www.aysev.com. Send me an email. There's a lot of information on the website in terms of the studies, in terms of what does work, what's approved in Florida, what's not yet approved in Florida. I'm looking to help as many people as we can.
That's wonderful.
I'll give your office a call and, make an appointment.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Thank you, Missy.
Right,
have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. As I mentioned before that, I've interviewed Dr. Pickholz before, and, and just from seeing him around at the hospital and stuff, he's actually a very, kind of lighthearted, fun-loving kind of guy. You have 4 daughters running around the house, and you're a young guy, young doctor as well. You didn't start yesterday, but meaning you're young, And so when I hear you talking, so clinically and so knowledgeable, obviously you're a very studied person, and you're very committed to, learning and growing. And so it looks like, you being younger in your practice area, you're going to be able to watch this thing grow over a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And you're going to probably be able to really, you'll have the answers to some of your own questions come 20 years from now. At the latter end of your practice, so it's going to be fascinating. I'm sure you're just kind of
medicine and everything is constantly changing, and anyone who keeps striving and keep working and keep learning, they're going to be at the forefront of whatever they do.
It's true. It's so true. And I want to thank you again for taking the time to come in here and share with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm hoping that we can continue this conversation because for me personally, I don't even know if I should even share what I think personally, but I don't work for the Today Show, so I don't have a contract. It's my show. So, I think that, as a therapist, as a treating so many patients that suffer with so much pain, that I'm trying to get them to function and to move. And, my go-to question is, well, did you take your pain meds? Or did you do your exercise? Did you do your stretches? And so, I know the benefits of homeopathic, naturopathic type of alternative medical care. And I know that there's got to be something more than just, a painkiller is great. But, when people are codependent on it, it doesn't do anything good for the body.
It doesn't.
As well as, talk about the stereotype of people on narcotics. They're worried about on the marijuana, but how about the stereotype on? We know those personalities.
We know it. There's a lot of problems with narcotics.
And the deaths,
the
overdoses, and it's unbelievable.
If you look, it's very interesting. About 2 weeks ago, they came out with 2 studies that came out of Oregon, Colorado, and Washington that have recreational marijuana. It showed that there was a 3% increase in the number of car accidents since recreational marijuana came aboard. People are jumping on this, oh, look, marijuana is no longer safe. But if you actually look at the step further, the number of fatal car accidents dropped dramatically. So these people may be having small little fender benders, but they're not as, it's
not like a speed.
It's not deadly.
Well, I think that, when you have a show called Community Connections, so what's the community message? The message for me, it's the same thing as alcohol. Don't drink and drive.
Don't.
And so
there's a zero tolerance policy down in Florida and all these other places.
Right. And so whether it be recreational marijuana, whether it's legal here or not, in whatever state that you're using it, you have to know your body. You have to know your tolerance. If you're putting something in your body that can be mind altering, you have to use some sort of judgment. I know judgment goes out of the window when we're doing these things, but don't put yourself behind a vehicle if you know that you have a reaction to it. So that's just my message to it is use good judgment, use some wisdom, be safe, and be safe tomorrow. We're going to bring on Nancy Aronson with Sunshine Senior Placement, and Dr. Pickholtz. You're with ASEV, and you can be found at 561-570-5500, and it's ASEV Comprehensive Cannabinoid Care. Learn more about it. Go to his website, and we'll be right back with our next guest.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. While recovering, you will receive 24-hour licensed nursing care along with dietary and nutrition services. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Come see the Whitehall Boca Raton difference. Call 561-392-3000 for more information or to schedule a tour with our admissions team, and we will answer any one of your questions. You can also visit our website at whitehallboca.com. For more information, call 561-392-3000. That's 561-392-3000. Whitehall Boca Raton is committed to provide you with the best medical care.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Feel like you've tried everything and nothing works? Studies show if we are out of balance or too acidic, it can directly affect our sleep. Now, a new doctor-formulated solution is available directly to you. Alkaline Boosters is a fast and natural way to get a restful night's sleep. Take advantage of this promotional offer to buy your Alkaline Boosters today and start sleeping better tomorrow. Call 1-800-994-5361. That's 1-800-994-5361.
SkyMed Pharmacy is a full-service pharmacy. Our services include home infusion therapy, nursing services, and a mail-order pharmacy delivering specialty drugs directly to your home. Our team of clinical pharmacists, certified technicians, and nurses provide comprehensive patient care, generating treatment of chronic diseases both attainable and affordable. SkyMed has a foundation department and a copay assistant program. Our staff is available daily to answer any questions you may have. Contact SkyMed Pharmacy and Infusion Services at 866-778-8255, 866-778-8255, or visit us at skymed.com. That's SKYEMED.com.
Do you suffer from back, joint, or muscle soreness? Recovery with HydroFX is the doctor-recommended all-natural solution you've been looking for. Now, available in the U.S., Recovery with HydroFX is a specialized product for headaches, back, joint, and muscle soreness. Get back to feeling great today and order your 30-day supply of Recovery with HydroFX. Call 1-800-994-5361. and take advantage of this limited radio offer. That's 1-800-994-5361.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, Norma Guerrero. What a great conversation we just had with Dr. Pickholtz regarding the medical marijuana. So if you're just tuning in now, you can watch the show live streamed, as well as, if you like, you can watch it a little bit later on my Facebook page at Community Connections with Norma G. You're listening to us at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, as well as you can find us on YouTube at AMP2 TV or on Periscope at AMP2 TV, and you can find Community Connections with Norma G. And so I want to introduce my next guest, who we also know through Whitehall Boca Raton, which is Miss Nancy Aronson. Oh. And she is a senior specialist, and she works for Sunshine Senior Placement. Is that right, Nancy?
Yes, it is.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming in today. And so tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, Nancy?
I am from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
From New Jersey. Oh, I was raised there as well. I was born there. Actually, no, I was raised in Florida, but born there. Great. And when did you come to Florida?
I came to Florida in the 1990s.
1990s.
And I came here because that's where all the seniors are.
And are you a social worker?
I am a social worker.
Okay, great. And so you came to Florida, and there's no doubt that this is where all the seniors are.
Yes, it is.
And Sunshine Senior Placement, what is that?
We are a placement agency. We are there free of charge for the resident and or the family to help find appropriate placement for their loved ones, whether it be an assisted living, a 6-bed residential, a memory care unit, even a nursing home. I also tackle a lot of the challenges of the world and help them find the place for their loved one.
And you know what's interesting about that my relationship, which is short, between Nancy and myself, is that, as you all know, I'm an occupational therapist. And about 2 years ago, I was treating a home health patient, actually, on the side from working over at Whitehall, which sometimes we need to do sometimes. And I got in touch with a family member for this patient, and on the phone was this woman, Nancy Aronson. So when your name came across my desk in the last month or two in preparing for the show, I recognized your name, and that's when we started saying, and the reason why her and I spoke on the phone is because this particular gentleman had just recently, your uncle or something like that, a family member, I don't know what
cousin.
It was, a cousin.
Yeah.
He, I won't say what happened to him, but he ended up needing to go into an assisted living,
Correct.
and it was new for him. And I was entering a scenario where the environment was new, and he needed a bunch of different pieces of adaptive equipment. So I was speaking to you as far as, we needed to get approval if the family was going to pay for it or not. And you were able to give me all of these resources of like, try getting this here and try getting this here and try getting this here. And that's really what Nancy does best, is that I didn't realize at the time that this is what she did for a living. I just thought that this woman just, kind of sharp about knowing how to care for seniors. And it always makes my job easier. And so what is it that you love about working with the seniors?
It's basically the idea of helping a family member or a senior find the place where they're going to be, because it is, as they say, the golden years, and you want to make it pleasant and happy for them. Some people do good in a big building. Some people do good in a small building. Depends on the resident. Every resident's different.
So you kind of get the referral.
Correct.
And you go and meet the person in their home?
We meet in the home, the nursing home, the hospital, wherever the patient is. We do a complete assessment, both medical and also financial, to see what their needs are, both financial and medically.
And probably also a little bit emotional, psychological, just briefly to kind of see their personality type.
Right.
And if you see somebody in a nursing home, I guess from a nursing home perspective, I see with that. Someone falls, they breaks their hip, they may not be able to return home. So now they may need to be placed into an assisted living or an independent living, or they want to transition.
Right.
And so you're going there to help them walk through that process.
Right. I help transition them from, say, the nursing home to the ALF or even in the independent so that they have a smooth transition. And there are so many services out there that you can entertain. I like to entertain also with a lot of social work so that that person has someone to guide them from point A to point B. We have moving services that are available. We have people that assist with the Medicaid process because, again, that's another topic of discussion.
Yes, we've been talking about that a lot with the attorneys regarding elder care law and how is this going to get paid for?
Right.
You know, when these assisted livings are like $3,000 a month and up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and up, and as well as a long-term care placement in a nursing home can also be very, very costly as well.
Yes, it is.
So now this is a free service.
Correct.
And so who's paying for your services in the end?
At the end of the day, the whichever building they go to does send our company money.
Okay.
We go from
so
there.
basically, you meet with someone like Nancy, you know, a senior placement agency, which is Sunshine Senior Placement, and they are your phone number to Sunshine Senior Placement is
561-305-7511.
And if they want to find you, they can reach you at that number. And so basically, you meet with her, and she will figure out whether or not you need, you know, or help work with you, you know, and you'll take them around for tours.
Correct.
You'll take them around for tours, and it's at no charge to either the actual person or the family member that's maybe living in another state. They're coming down here to say mom or dad needs to be transitioned. You it's almost like a from a realtor kind of perspective.
A little bit,
but you don't have to go through all all that type of paperwork and stuff.
I've met a lot of people to place throughout the years, and it's just a unique experience that these people. The seniors that I placed, they have a multitude of backgrounds.
Yes.
Some more livelier than others, but it's a happy thing at the end of the day.
And how long have you been with Sunshine Senior Placement?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
2 years, fantastic. And what areas do you primarily serve?
I go anywhere from pretty much the north end of Palm Beach County and actually St. Lucie all the way down to the south end of Broward. I have to, I'll go into Dade. Depends on where it is. I've helped assist people with placement, moving people from Florida back up north. And also I get a call from somebody up in New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, even Virginia. They might want to come down to the Florida area. That's another strategic planning because everything has to match clinical, financial, because it's hard on the facility because if the patient's north and they're coming south, they have to know.
You know, and so, you know, I'm curious. Okay, so everyone's going to have different socioeconomic economic backgrounds.
Correct.
And so if someone doesn't have a lot of funding, you know, if they don't have $3,000 a month, you know, is there options?
There's the Medicaid program, which is, of course, another area to go into. I do that for free as far as Medicaid because you can't charge for anything that's under Medicaid. But I will guide them and assist them through that process, and that's where you can guide them in what they call Medicaid long-term care. And that's another area where it takes about 60 to 90 days to get on that program, which is usually best way to get in there is through going into the nursing home for about 90 days.
Right.
You follow, and I happen to know that piece well. I used to work with Heritage Park Communities and American Elder Care, which is now Humana LTC. So I know a lot of the faces.
So you have a lot of connections.
I do.
So you have a lot of connections down here in South Florida.
Correct.
And I know that, you know, I know that you mentioned that you are a little bit nervous with being in here today because this is the studio and the cameras and everything. And so, but, you know, what's really important to convey is that it's not about, you know, lights, camera, action. It's really about who do you know in the community and getting the resources in front of those family members because there are so many needs to the elderly that it's not just, okay, just, all right, you just pick this place and go. There's so many multiple factors, and I know that you have a lot of those resources in your back pocket to help that family member transition their parent. And so what do people do with, they go from a house into a smaller apartment? What do they do with all that stuff?
Some people, that's where we have moving services and people that are experts in consolidating. I know somebody that does that to a couple people. One is Eileen Becker, I Declutter You. And she comes in there and she helps organize and figure out what's going to go and what's going to stay. And that sometimes that's hard for a senior to deal with, especially if they have an attachment of, say, 3 or 4 or 5 rooms of stuff. And I've seen the hoarding experts. We also have Ann Meyerson that works for one of the real estate companies that I know. She's also Dr. Meyerson and deals a lot with hoarding, and she's able to hold their hand and kind of guide them so that they don't take the whole house.
Yeah.
But you can only fit so much
you can only
into.
you have to declutter. And, you know, as a therapist, when you're treating a patient for weeks on end or months on end, and they've gotten to a point where they've kind of reached a little bit of a plateau and they need to transition to a final destination. And this is where I'll communicate with the social worker regarding, depending on the setting I'm in with the patient. And someone like you will come in. And to be honest with you, when I see you turn the corner, someone like yourself turn the corner and enter the gym, it's actually kind of comforting, because it's like passing the baton.
Right.
And saying, this is my patient, this is their needs, this is how they walk, this is how they transfer, this is how much assist that they need. Can you help them find a place? This is their personality, this is their thing. And so you provide a tremendous service of bringing people to the next stage, to the next step, to where they can, you know, be where they're going to rest, not the resting place, but where they're going to rest at night,
right.
You know, where they're going to live, because it's a new place. You're placing them.
Right.
So that's pretty incredible that you do that. So tell me, does their website to Sunshine Senior Placement?
www.sunshineseniorplacements.com.
Tell me right into the camera.
www.sunshineseniorplacement.com.
And the phone number?
561-305-7511.
And how about an email, Nancy?
NANARONSON777 @gmail.com.
You got it. That's right. That's absolutely correct. And so now, how do you know Sergio over from Whitehall?
I met Sergio through a networking group and a whole this. And I went in, he gave me a tour of Whitehall, because I know that Whitehall's been through a lot of change. And I told him that I would help him, and we just help each other out. And he's actually helped me guide a lot of folks that need that Medicaid transition.
Yes, and so he's been helping you with that.
Yeah, not too many places want to do a Medicaid.
You mean not too many of the assisted livings and independent livings don't want to do it?
Not too many nursing homes want to take Medicaid or even help someone that's on Medicaid.
And I believe that Whitehall is taking some patients with Medicaid.
Correct.
Yes, I believe that that's what they're doing. And so, yeah, because it's a total different shift. But those patients, they require services and therapy as well. And so, you know, it's just a matter of how they allocate assets and, you know, a government benefit, you know, in order to get into all that. And so, well, that's wonderful. And so tell me a little bit about the background of Sunshine Senior Placement.
I was formed by Arnie Cowan, who's been a registered dietitian, nutritional consult, and also nursing home administrator, executive director for many of the communities out there. And he formed the company, and he hires all social workers and geriatric care managers.
Is that right?
Correct.
And is it just one office?
We all work basically out of our house. We start out of our house, and then we go to wherever we need to go, formulate our day.
Okay, so that's good. And so you don't have to go into an office. Correct. You can just meet your client wherever they're at. That's fantastic. And so tell me about what type of clients you're working on this week.
Mostly out of the nursing home. I have a few clients out of the nursing home. Also, I have a couple out of Kings Point. I volunteer my time in Kings Point of Del Rey as the social worker, because there's a lot of people that have a need.
Because they're starting to age out.
Correct.
A little bit, because that's an independent. That's like Kings Point is a independent living community. It's not an independent living facility. It's like a Century Village. It's a community. But, a lot of people live there for 20, 30 years and eventually they approach the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And so you just do what, like socialization meetings where you get to know people and share about your services?
No, actually, the We Care will call me and they'll say that they got a call from a resident saying that they need help with whatever they need help with, or they're falling, or they're just having a hard time maintaining either their guest list or something at home. And sometimes the call is just to update their guest list because they're not computer literate or they don't have a computer.
Oh, and so you volunteer time doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. And what's We Care?
We Care is one of the agencies that's run by the volunteers that work there that are about 70 or 80. And a lot of them, they did not have the resources that I did. And I happened to be at the right time, right place. And they liked that. And we all clicked. And here I am.
Well, it's really nice because it's almost like you have to have these resources in place because,
Right.
You're trying to help people stay as independent as long as they can. So that's why you're volunteering time. But you never know. It may end up turning into a referral, eventually. You don't do it necessarily total for an ulterior motive.
Right.
But, it's something that you like to do and you're familiar with. So why not help people
Right.
when they're, it's those things that are that simple. And so thank you so much for coming in, Nancy.
Thank you
I
very
really
much.
appreciate it. I know we had a scheduling issue a few weeks back. And so I'm so glad to finally meet you, to hear meet the person who's on the voice at the other end of the line. I wish you the best of continuing to help people here in South Florida. And tell us again your phone number one more time if you want to find Nancy at Sunshine Senior Placement.
561-305-7511.
That's right. It's 561-305-7511. It's Sunshine Senior Placement. I want to wish you all again a happy July 4th. I hope you have a fantastic celebrations with your friends and family, a day off of work if you get a day off. And we'll be back next week with all new guests and all new information. Have a fabulous week, everyone. You've been listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We will be back next Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. with new guests to share about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Did you hear something you liked today on our show? Please contact me, Norma G, at 954-802-2015 or email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you expand your business, project, or idea and connect with our community.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.